What's up, everybody? It's your boy George Salas right here at B&B Cashflow Mastery, Mr. Texas Real Estate Team right here. So today I want to talk to you about a strategy that I used.
Okay. No, let's just introduce the stream. And then now we're gonna go into recording and everything like that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and just keep going, my bad.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
All right. Cool. Sounds good. All right. This is my first episode solo. Let's do this. So today we're going to be talking about a strategy that I use to jumpstart my Airbnb business with my wholesale fees. So when I started real estate, the hardest thing for me was actually the cash flow part, right? And many of you listening out there, it's 100% the same thing. I believe that when
You're going into like the actual segment?
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. Okay, I thought you were still introducing it, so okay. Let me just go ahead and hit record. Alright, we're going live in 3, 2, 1. Okay, cool.
That's right. Again, welcome. bnbcashflowmastery.com. I'm excited to be here. We're still getting acclimated to this process. I'm still getting used to it. So I welcome all you guys to this first episode of me solo. I am glad to be here and happy to bring you some value. We are live on Facebook, on tons of accounts, and YouTube as well. So yes, let's do it. So our first strategy that I'm going to be talking about today is how to jumpstart your business with your wholesale fees. Then we're going to go into how we did it, what it brought for me, and then we're going to jump just a little bit of the process of that, right? You can utilize the strategy in many, many ways, and one of them would be Airbnb, right? That's what we're all here for. So when I started real estate, my biggest problem was actually cash flow, right? So I didn't have a lot of money to start this business, so I figured out what I was gonna do. And at the time, I was wholesaling and I was also flipping. So I had currently maybe about 4 or 5 flips. So imagine if you're doing that for first 6 months in real estate, and then you are completely out of cash flow. So I had to do something to create the cash flow, right? So what we did was I grabbed the wholesale fees that I made in my first and second month and utilized them to start 10 Airbnb properties, right? So the way you're gonna do this is if you are a wholesaler or a flip, you can utilize either of those fees to start your Airbnb business. And the best thing to do is break it down into segments and figure out how much and what type of strategy you're going to use in Airbnb. In this case, what I did was 2 small properties in Montrose that cost me about $5,000 a piece, and then 8 properties in downtown that also cost me $5,000 a piece. So that's 50. Out of that, I borrowed $10,000 from a private lender, and the remaining I put on my cash. I started with my wholesale fees. So took the wholesale fees that I made in July of 18, and then I subdivided them into, hey, I'm going to use $5,000 for these 2 properties, so that's 10, and then I'm going to utilize the remaining for these other properties, right? So you've got you're renting the property, you're putting a lease down, you're putting a deposit, and then you're signing a waiver with your landlord. That's what arbitrage is. So this strategy only works if with several properties. If you're doing arbitrage, so if you're buying, then it's going to take a little bit more money. So going back, broke it down, and out of the $5,000 for that first property, $2,000 went to my first month deposit, and then the remaining $3,000 I spent in furniture. So we actually found a wholesaler of furniture that gave us a really good deal. So you're going to spend in this studios were actually studios with a small kitchen. And then it's full kitchen, and then also a little dining area. So you're gonna have to buy yourself a table, and that's like $300. Your bedroom set, 400 or 500. Your mattress, your TV. Your small desk, and then your bedroom set's gonna be a full bedroom set, 2 nightstands. So you're right there alone, you're gonna be at about 1,000 if you get a really good deal for all those, or 1,500 to 2,000 if you don't. So now you are $4,000, right? You still have electronics to buy, tons of linens for that property, right? So you want to maximize and save. So places like OfferUp, Craigslist are great places to go find bargains on this actual items, right? So here's me, really busy with tons of rehabs, and also I'm doing my wholesale deals, and I am staging a property with 2 or 3 people, 2 at the same time, and then 8 at the same time back in 18, right? So we utilize these $5,000, and we're able to stage 10 freaking properties. So in our class coming up in a couple weeks, we're actually going to be talking about how to break down your budget, how to create a timeline whenever you're budgeting out, and then also how to utilize that cash and bargain out and maximize the amount of cash you have right now. Okay, so once you've done that, now you've got 2, 3 Airbnbs, right? Wholesale fee could be, 10 grand, if you did well at 15, 20,000. But now you've got 2 or 3 Airbnbs, and if you're managing your Airbnbs, you've already done the wholesales, you've already closed. Now you've got 3 cash flow and Airbnbs. So you can actually target maybe a range of $500 to $1,000 if you are doing everything. And I'm talking about the communication, right? The messaging, communication, guest relations, not the cleaning, of course, but also the maintenance, any calls, anything to do with dealing with Airbnb if things happen. So if you're managing your own properties at first, which if you're just getting started, I definitely recommend it, because you don't want to pay a ton of money or a management fee if you're learning, right? So you've got to practice and get good at and figure out, what things work, what things don't work. So when you're getting started, make sure that you take that and take that good tip and hint, and you manage your property. So now you're $500 to $1,000 a month, right, in cash flow. Can you live with that? Can you not live with that? Probably not. But now you've got a consistent consistent cash flow a month, and then now it allows you to be a little bit more stable, and then now you can focus on getting that second or third wholesale deal, and at the same time leveraging, like if you're flipping or doing a wholesale deal, you can leverage that cash flow to compound more property. So you're either utilizing the funds to live with your flipping, or you're utilizing these funds that to live with your actual Airbnb income. So whichever of the two. Let's just say you live with your flipping, or you do 1 wholesale deal a month and you're living with that. So now on this side you've got $1,500 to $3,000, right? And you compound that over and over, and then 6 months later you got 2 more Airbnbs, right? You made money back. Because that's the amount it takes. So, but I think we've gone out of time, guys. I hope the tips served you. I hope everything went well. I just want to let you know we've got an awesome 2-day class, our first one ever, bnbcashflowmastery.com. It's March 7 and 8, and we're going to go into detail on everything from A to Z. So, see you guys later. Mr. Texas Real Estate Team. Totally forgot the outro.
No, it's all good.
I'm like, oh, what did I say in the
It's all
outro?
good, it's all good.
Oh my goodness,
It's all
love
good.
it.
So you're gonna be like, so, I'm George Salas, and you're listening to Mr. Texas Real Estate Radio Network, and you're tuned into the Airbnb Mastery.
How did I know that recorded?
Yeah, it went good. Yeah. I noticed that when I put like my hand up, you're kind of just like, wait, whoa.
No, it went fast. Huh? I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, and like once you start talking, like time's gonna just pass by really quick.
Right. Because once you get into it, you don't even know. And I don't have like a thing here that says time, right? Yeah. I should probably do this. Yeah, I downloaded this cool app yesterday. It's so funny. Do we do live stream on all every show?
Well, the radio shows, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the mastery, of course, not.
Yeah, okay. I'm getting better at explaining, I guess. What's the name? Let's see. I don't have a thing here that says time, right? Yeah. I'll probably should probably do this. That's cool. I didn't even know we were live whenever I'm like leaning down. What should we do this time? So tell me the intro again, because you like made me go live and then I did the intro and then something else.
Oh no, it's because like what
I'm
happened?
confused.
Yeah, what happened was I had got confused between me saying, "All right, we're going live on the live stream," and I meant to say that we're gonna start recording for OBS. You know what I'm saying? So like when I said, "All right, we're going live," I meant the live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my bad though. I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't tell me these
about
terms.
it. Yeah,
I'm not
that's
used
my
to
bad.
it.
And then when I say we're gonna start recording, I mean we're gonna start recording right here. So if you want to, we can re-record that first segment. It's up to you though. I mean, it's good like that to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if I watch it, I'll probably want to record it, so let's leave it
Yeah.
alone. If it's fine for you,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's fine
fine.
for the guys, it's fine for our branding,
Yeah, of course.
I'm good with that.
All right.
You know?
So you ready to jump into the next one?
Yeah, let me just think of a topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, did you ever record any ads with us? He's like, I don't think so. I'm like, okay, I'll get on calendar too. And then, just put speaking, an interview spot request on calendar too. For their, vice president calendar. Monthly, so when I set it up on the Square, whether I send them an invoice or input it myself, I can have the option to add card to file and reoccur billing. So it's just gonna reoccur until they cancel. Yep, and then I'm organizing my Mr. Texas Google Drive to just keep all of our, I have everything organized, all the signed contracts and things like that. So, and Alex already paid and sent over a signed contract, so they're good. And then on the calendar are organized too. Everything's on the calendar, you just have to make sure that.
So what do the guys typically talk about?
Robert and.
It just depends, to be
Do
honest.
they give a lot of knowledge?
Yeah, of course. They give a lot of knowledge and some like. So pretty much what the formula is you're gonna bring forth the topic and then you're gonna bring maybe a story every now and then of how you overcame that, and then yeah, that's what I pretty much noticed from the guys. So they'll introduce something and then they'll go into maybe like a personal story of that happening to them and how they got it fixed. So you can either go into that or you can just go into something about Airbnb today. You can talk about something that's going on with Airbnb, any of the new policies that have changed or anything like that. You have a wide spectrum to choose from just the hour that you have.
What do you mean an hour?
So like you get an hour. Well, yeah, you get an hour, right? I'm not completely sure on how like the recording goes and everything like that.
So it's an hour, and then every time I come is an hour, or every segment is an hour.
Oh no! Your show's a whole hour. Like your whole show is 1 hour, so like when it goes on the radio, it's gonna be an hour long.
Wow.
So these segments, those are gonna be like the meat, and then there's gonna be commercials thrown in after the segment, and then some commercials segment. So that's what makes up the whole hour. Yeah.
Can we make since the intro wasn't that great, can we make the second, maybe Jason? I don't know if you
I think it's just good like that. I think we should just hop on the next one, to be honest.
Okay. Alright, let me see. Let me just make a topic real quick. We're not live, right? Just make a topic real quick. We're not live, right? I think it's still live.
Alright, you ready?
1 second. Welcome back. It's your boy George Salas, the Mr. Texas Radio Real Estate Network, and I want to talk about how to overcome objections with landlords today. So when I first got started, one of the biggest issues was finding the properties, and then when I was able to get a hold of some strategies on finding the properties, I realized I actually didn't know how to talk to these landlords. So I started figuring out ways and finding out strategies to do so. And then one of them was to simply just tell them straight up what you're doing. Okay, don't try to hide it. So if you're thinking about starting an Airbnb business, just getting even the first property, and then you're going to an apartment complex, or you're going to a just a landlord meeting somebody at a meetup or something like that, tell them exactly what you do. You're a professional short-term rental investor, and you want to rent this property from them, and you are going to bring professional cleaning services to that property every single time, as well as you're going to maintenance the property as it goes, and give them the problem. The problem with long-term tenants is that they actually don't do these things. They don't take care of the properties, right? They don't clean it. They don't keep it maintained. They don't do the lawn all the time. They don't keep things clean. They have dogs. They have animals, and they don't even tell you. So I had somebody at one of my houses, my Airbnb homes, on the north side, 77070, and this guy just rented the property for 4 months. It was first on Airbnb, and then he offered to pay me the same amount as I was making it. Well, actually, $100 more that I was making on Airbnb. Gave me a $2,000 deposit and swore on his life that he only needed it for 3 months, no pets, none of that. So when I went to the garage, which was a storage of mine, right, and it's still a storage, I actually saw all of his pets. So they had moved in, had the pets first inside the house, and they moved them in. So they were paying the same thing as Airbnb, so that definitely was a benefit. So $3,100 on a property, and I just had on Airbnb for a month and a half, right, 2 months actually. And then now I'm making the same amount of dollars. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I don't have to deal with, all of the guest messaging or tenants, and my team doesn't have to have all this extra work. It ends up being that this guy actually stained my carpet, scratched my floors, and when he moved out last November or December, I actually was not very happy. So long-term tenants sometimes can be a pain in the butt, and being able to offer these solutions to landlords when you approach them and you tell them, hey, Mr. Landlord, my name is George Salas, and I'm a short-term rental investor, and I'm actually looking to rent your property. Here's what we do. We actually do this as a business. We rent the properties on the short-term basis 3 to maybe 10 days at a time, and then we list them on several sites. Don't say Airbnb because there's still a little bit of a stigma on the landlord side about Airbnb. So, and then you explain to them, here are the actual benefits of you renting from me compared to renting to a long-term tenant, right? So I'm going to clean your property, I'm going to maintain it, I'm going to have do the lawn every month, and then I'm going to pay you rent on time. You can withdraw from my account. We do this as a business in the city. We have a few properties, and be professional. One big hint would be to impress a landlord and overcoming any objections at first. If you're calling them, give them a small pitch, right? And I'm gonna tell you the pitch. If you are emailing them, try to get an appointment with them and get with them. But once you build that little rapport, then you're good. And if you're contacting any landlord through a realtor, then give the pitch to your realtor so that your realtor can pass it down to the other realtor or the landlord itself. Because sometimes when you rent a property and it's on MLS, they can do both sides most likely if they're renting it. So a realtor himself can find the Airbnb host and then do both sides. So all you realtors are out there and are listening, and you want to get extra cash flow and then have some Airbnb properties, make sure that you ask your landlords that are trying to lease their property, hey, are you open to do short-term rental? Because it is becoming very, very popular. And now if you're dealing with HOAs, there are certain rules that you got to kind of look around. I wouldn't do Airbnbs in condos simply because condo HOAs, their rules are way more strict, and it's private. It's a little bit of a different system, which I'm not honestly too familiar with. But doing it with single family homes or actually apartments, it's a great, great idea. So let's talk about overcoming an objection to where the landlord doesn't know the documentation that they need, and they're like, hey, what's going to happen? Here, how are we going to do this? You get your attorney to withdraw a waiver for you, or an addendum, or just a document, simple document that your landlord is going to sign. So make sure that it's an addendum on the lease, and they give it to you or you give it to them, and it's something that modifies that lease, and the part that says, hey, you can't rent this property for less than 30 days, because most leases are going to say that, right? So you tell them the documents are easily drawn, and you can get your attorney to pay for it, probably $150 or so. But also, I definitely recommend you guys to visit some multifamily meetups, and in those you're gonna find and meet great amount of landlords that actually own 5, 10, 15 units and try to get into a bigger project, or visit any of the regular residential real estate meetups here in town. There's tons of them, and I definitely suggest you to do that, right? So, and I want to close out to talking a little bit about what we've got going on. Our 2-day event, bnbcashflowmastery.com is the website. And then you guys can contact me at georgehouse360.com. But it's March 7th and March 8th. I'm really excited. That day, we're going to be breaking down exactly how to start, how to operate, manage, and then scale an Airbnb business. So if you're looking for details, if you're looking for spreadsheets, if you're looking for all your questions answered, so there's not going to be one question unanswered. We will not leave without your questions being answered that day. So make sure you visit our website, bnbcashflowmastery.com, and get your tickets. There's just a few tickets left, and I definitely strongly recommend you to visit us and come see us. Robert, Jason, and myself will be teaching this on March 7th and 8th, and it's our first event. So I'm extremely, extremely excited, and I hope that you guys can make it. So yeah, BNB Cashflow Mastery. I'm glad you guys are joining us right here at the Mr. Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Thank you. Did I say Mr. Texas Real Estate Radio Network correct? Man.
Alright, so when I go up to 2, that means 2 minutes. 1 is 1 minute. And when I go 3-0, that means 30 more seconds.
Gotcha.
So when you start plugging stuff, they usually do it around like the 1 minute mark. So that gives you kind of like, it's enough time to be like, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what we got going on.
So not at the 2.
Yeah. And then what else would I say? Yeah, that was pretty much it. That 1 minute is gonna just be pretty much nothing but promo. So plug the heck out of yourself.
Got
Just
it.
be like, hey, this is what I got going on. This is what we have. This is what's going on this day. This is the event. Make it out, and then yeah. Thank you for listening to the Mr. Texas Real Estate. I'm George Salas, and you're listening to the Airbnb Mastery. Boom. That's it.
Love
Yeah.
it. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me take a quick break real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.